All right. Hello, Raleigh. I'm Aaron Suggs, and in my career, I've managed both customer-facing product teams and the internal infrastructure platform SRE teams. So in this talk, I'd like to share my experience for how infrastructure teams can adapt how they work with product teams based on the technical maturity of the product. So here's the problem. Sometimes product teams want infra to provide some highly managed service that makes their lives easy. Other times, they want the freedom and flexibility to choose whatever works best for them. So really what we're talking about are decision rights. Like, when do infra teams get to prescribe the tools that other teams must use? And when does infra embrace innovations from the other teams? I found that it depends on the technical maturity of the product in question. So this is the technology adoption lifecycle. It models how and why different groups adopt new things. So let's apply it to some product teams in your organization. Suppose you're building a next-gen deploy tool, and let's think about how various teams and services might adopt it. So first up are the innovators. They're the risk takers, and they're eagerly searching for an advantage for new technology. For your deploy tool, the innovators are the first team that are willing to try it out with their service. Next come the early adopters. They want to stay ahead of the curve, but they also need a little bit of social proof from the innovators that this tool is worth their attention. So your deploy tool's success with the innovators will help convince the next few early adopters to try it out. And then come the majority. So they're significantly more skeptical than the earlier folks. They're not really trying to keep ahead, but rather they don't want to get left behind. So for your deploy tool, the majority adopts it once you've worked out all the kinks and once it has like very obvious desirable benefits. And last are the laggards, which tend to be highly resistant to change and not influenced by their peers. For your deploy tool, these are like the old business critical legacy systems that few people understand, but there's a lot of risk, or there's a lot to lose if something breaks. So to recap, that's the technology adoption lifecycle, from the innovators seeking change, the early adopters, the majority that follows the crowd, and the laggards who are change averse. All right, so now let's switch gears and think about how infra and product teams can interact with each other. And the book Team Topologies, which I highly recommend, teaches three main types of interactions. So first up, collaboration is working together for a fixed period of time to discover and build new things. In collaborating, there's a lot of creative problem solving as teams stretch their abilities. Examples of collaboration might be trying out a new data store or starting that next-gen deploy tool with an innovative service. Next is facilitating, where one team helps and mentors another. Examples of this are like architecture and design reviews or incident postmortems. There's kind of a checklist to follow, or mostly a checklist, but there's also room for nuance and special circumstances. Third is X as a service, and this is when an infrastructure team provides something that other teams consume as a service, with little discussion and lots of like self-service execution and automation. Examples are like actual internal services, chat ops, CI/CD, etc. So let's recap. We've got the close collaboration, facilitating a structured mentorship, X as a service. One other interaction that I'll call out is no support, like a skunkworks internal project that's intentionally isolated from the org. All right, so now comes the fun part. We're gonna basically combine these two to reveal what types of interactions work well at different phases of technology adoption. So when innovators are doing something new, they either need infra to be collaborators to find creative solutions together, or maybe be explicit and just say they're on their own with no support. It's too early for some of the more structured interactions because there's so much technical discovery to do. Once you have a few early adopters, you can start to operationalize your new tool, and you can start moving to a facilitating relationship. So now's the time to start making reusable checklists and standard processes, maybe even automate parts of it. If that goes well, now you're at the majority, and they're eager to adopt your new thing. It needs to evolve to be a low-touch, self-service tool to prevent you and your infra team from becoming a bottleneck to adoption. And congrats, your tool's now an important part of your organization's stack. Finally come the laggards, those tricky cases who probably have good reasons to resist adopting your tool. For them, I find it's helpful to go back into a facilitating relationship with mentoring and some creative problem solving. So bottom line, I recommend adjusting the way you interact with other teams to align to the technical maturity of the project that you're working on. I hope this approach helps you work more effectively at your organizations, and thank you all for your kind attention.